What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they called me, and today, we got issue 2 of Black Widow and Hawkeye. And if you're a fan of these two espionage aficionados, then you already know what to expect in a series like this. And issue 1 of this 4-part series celebrating the 60th anniversary of these two characters did not let us down. And if you need to get caught up with that issue, then I put a card to the video at the top of your screen right now. And I'll put a link up at the end of this video as well. But in the last issue, Hawkeye was kind of going through some John Wick type stuff with these assassins. We had found out that he was on the run from a litany of assassination attempts in retaliation for taking out a Russian minister. But as always, Black Widow came to his aid to help him get out of his latest jam. And this time she's brought her new partner in the form of her symbiote. And it was at the very end of the issue where Clint revealed to his longtime friend Natasha that he didn't want her help because he was, in fact, guilty of what he was being accused of. So if you guys are ready to find out if Natasha and her symbiote will continue to help Clint, and if they're even able to at this point since he's in so deep, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we picked this issue up a week ago in Madripoor, and Clint Barton is undercover and sitting down at a high-stakes poker game with a big-wig weapon supplier he calls Mr. Kohler. And at first, when he tries to sit down, one of the other players at the table attempts to throw him out. But Clint had done a good enough job of bending the old weapons guy's ear when he buttered him up just before sitting down, so the guy insists that Clint be allowed to stay and play. Then the guy attempts to kind of size up Clint, and he says to him, "Let me guess, you used every penny in your name to get into this event, just to pitch me some new product that you think will put you and your yet-to-be-named startup company on the map?" So Clint rolls with it, and he's like, "Is it that obvious?" And the old man's like, "Son, your bow tie is crooked." Then the old man asks Clint his name, and of course Clint gives him a fake name, Harry Barnes. So the old guy's like, "Okay, let's play around, Harry. I'll spot you, and I'll make you a deal. If you can win, you can give me your big pitch on how you're gonna change the world of defense forever." So Clint, of course, accepts the challenge, and he thanks this guy for the opportunity. But Clint also has a spy for a best friend and another for an ex-wife, so he's picked up quite a few pointers over the years. And he uses one of them when he accidentally knocks over this old man's drink, spilling some of that drink on the old man's suit jacket. And as he attempts to clean up the old man's jacket, he manages to place a little tracker on him, just as the old man has him dragged out for the assumed fumble. Then we pick back up with right now in Madripoor with Clint and Natasha on a rooftop. And just as this little old lady from a little food shack beneath them calls out a dumpling order that's ready for the customer, Natasha uses her symbiote to drop down and snatch her up some grub, because she's starving right now. But Clint still wants Nat to leave him be, and she will, she tells him, as soon as he tells her the truth about the diplomat's death. And I'm assured you don't need my help defending against the many people who now want you dead. Oh, and she absolutely loves those chicken skewers, by the way. But Clint tells her that he's already told her what happened, that he killed the foreign minister. But both Natasha and her symbiote can tell that Clint's lying. So without Natasha even trying to or wanting to, her symbiote lashes out at Clint in an attempt to learn the truth. "I can feel your connection. Deep," the symbiote tells Natasha, "has caused you pain. Will again," it continues. But Natasha snatches it back and tells the symbiote not to touch him. Not now, not ever. And then she apologizes to Clint about that. But now he's a little bit shook. He's like, "Nat, I don't understand. Is that thing inside of you?" And I'm sure one of you guys will have a nice little joke about that comment right there, so I'm not going to touch it. But she tells him that the symbiote is a part of her, connected to her. So now Clint thinks that it sounds like her symbiote is jealous of his and her connection. And he reminds her that he was there first, not that it's a competition. But just then he's hitting the neck with a dart. Poison, he says. Then the symbiote tells her that the enemy is nearby. And as Clint falls, Natasha asks the symbiote if it knew that there was someone there and intentionally didn't warn them. And the symbiote responds that Clint said to leave. Should have listened. But they're not leaving, she tells it. And she launches off that rooftop where Clint lay and across to the next where the gunman continues to fire on her. And she realizes while she's in the air that this guy's uniform doesn't look American or Russian. There's something familiar about it, but she can't quite place it. Meanwhile, as his shots land on Natasha, the symbiote takes these shots like it's nothing and tells Natasha that it can taste the poison down to the chemical makeup of it. And Clint Barton is definitely gonna die. So she takes down this assassin and then leaps back across to aid her friend and begs for him to stay with her as he lay there writhing in pain. Then she speaks to her symbiote and says, "You absorbed the poison when I was hit with it. Can you also extract it from Clint?" And the symbiote replies, "You want me to help Clint Barton?" And she's like, "If you cared about me, you would care about him." And it warns her that entering another, there could be consequences. But doing nothing means he dies, she tells it. So the symbiote asks Natasha, "Who is Clint Barton?" And she's like, "What?" But it tells her to focus on Clint. Let it see him from her thoughts and memories, basically. So she begins to think back to the first time that she got close to him. It was on Coney Island many years ago, and she had underestimated him. She learned to use men, to use people as a means to an end. No emotions, just usefulness. I think Clint knew that, she says. He sensed it. That getting close to me would be difficult and painful, but he did anyway. And in this flashback that she gives, Snapdragon is hunting her, but Clint comes to her rescue and saves her. Then Clint begins to fight Snapdragon one-on-one, and Snapdragon seemed to get the upper hand and dropped Clint. Then snatched up and carried Natasha away. But then current Natasha tells the symbiote that sometimes she thinks Clint likes being told no. Being told that he will fail, because that is Clint's true power. He thrives on being underestimated. As we see back in that flashback that he had got up and joked about how Snapdragon mocked his bow and arrow and called it a fool's weapon. Because this fool's weapon had just placed a tracking beacon on her so he could find where Natasha was being taken. But then back in the current day, Natasha continues to beg for Clint to stay with her. And then when she can no longer feel his heartbeat, she starts to freak out. No, please. Save him, she pleads to the symbiote. You have to. And then Clint's eyes open back up, and now they're pitch black, like the symbiote. And then Clint calls out for Natasha, but in the voice of the symbiote. Meanwhile, that assassin reports back to the person that had sent him on the hit. "Hawkeye's dead?" this big bad asks the assassin. I shot him, sir," the assassin replies. "Is he dead?" the man repeats. He was poisoned. I don't know how he could survive it. There's no way he could." "You were supposed to confirm, damn it. Where's the body?" the man asks. The assassin responds that he was interrupted, sir. "I'm so sorry, but this woman, I couldn't stop her. I shot her, and it was like nothing happened. She had a black suit and then the big bad finishes that description asking if she had red hair. "Yes, red hair. How did you know?" questions the assassin. "She really can't help herself," this man says. "Did she touch you?" he asks the assassin as he wraps his hand around the assassin's throat. "Did Natasha Romanoff lay her hands on you?" he asks again. "She grabbed me. Didn't hurt." "I'm glad it didn't hurt," the man responds. "But this will," as he picks up the assassin with one arm and he launches him out of the window of the high rise that they're in. Then as his soldiers come running in, he tells them that she knows where we are. "Who does, sir?" they ask. "The Black Widow," he replies. "She no doubt put a tracker on the unfortunate man I just threw out the window." So the security asks if they should move out. They can have a plane ready for takeoff. But the man responds, no. He doesn't want to leave. "Let her come," he says. "I'm sure she's dying for a reunion with Damon Dran." Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is somebody who was thought to have been dead for like the last decade after Black Widow had turned him in and then a rogue agent had like drenched him in acid. Man, sheesh. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. Wow, y'all. So what did you guys think about this issue? I know a lot of people are taking well to Natasha having a symbiote, and I'm one of them. I think having her with a symbiote, it just kind of fits, man, with her personality, her skill set, and her nickname. But wow, y'all, did we just see the origin for Hawkeye with a symbiote? Does that work? Do you guys want to see Clint with a symbiote? I wouldn't mind seeing it myself on a temporary basis, maybe to beat the big bad. But I don't really think having a symbiote is something that Clint Barton would be on board with. What do you guys think? Would Hawkeye want a symbiote? It would make for a pretty dope team up though for their anniversary. I'll tell you that much for sure. I'm really liking this series though so far. I think they're doing these guys real justice for their 60th anniversary. And how about that Damon Dran reveal? How did you guys like that? Or did you guys like it at all? But as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some of this dope new merchandise, including this background music heard right here in this video, or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and I'll make sure there's a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you'll gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic book news too. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icons merchandise in the Comics Icon store. And now we've got new tiers to the memberships as well, starting at just 99 cents. How's that for an easy way to help out and support? Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do that, then you can still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.